18 minutes past 5 o'clock. Welcome back to Radio Islam International. With just about a year to go before national elections in South Africa will be taking place, and 7 parties have joined forces to try and topple the incumbent ANC and also keep the EFF out of power. The name of the coalition is called the Multi-Party Charter for South Africa, and to give us more details regarding this, we are joined on the line by Neil de Beer, who's the president of UIM Party. Mr. Neil, thank you very much for joining us on Radio Islam.
Wassalam, Sahib, and thank you for the opportunity and every one of your listeners today.
Neil, being one of the 7 parties signing the Moonshot Pact, which is known as Multi-Party Charter of South Africa, how important is this pact?
It's very important, Suhaib. If there has ever been, except for 1994, the biggest and most important election, no doubt it is next year. We have had enough. Many of us come from so many political affiliates, but now what unites us is the fact that we have come to the end of an ANC period of governance. They have had 30 years and they did not make it. It is not a bad thing. It is just the truth. And therefore the culmination of this multi-party charter to form that alternative government has come, and that is why we are doing this.
So, Neil, how likely is it that this alliance will be able to oust the ANC and keep the EFF out of power?
You know, you must never say never, inshallah. If you say never, you are not a believer. How many times have we not said in our lifetimes, never? We will never have a black president. We will never have freedom. We will never become reality because of 3 reasons. 1, the almighty belief that things can be done if you believe in God. Number 2, the country has come to that point where it cannot continue as it is. And thirdly, I think the will of the people, and this is important, Saeed, all people, no matter your race or religion in this country, has come to the point, in Afrikaans, we've got a good saying, ons is nou almal gatvol. We have come to that point where we are saying, no more, no longer, and we are the alternative as this multi-party charter.
So as you said never, but what does the UIM have to offer to the public that they will vote for them come next year's elections?
You know, it's a 50 plus 1, Shahi. It's a 50 plus 1. We mustn't forget about the 1, hey? So when you have a soccer score, it's 3-4. It's 1 in difference. So although we might be a small growing party over 3 years, we have achieved our position in local government. Councillor Joburg, Councillor eThekwini in Durban, and Councillor in Durban. Naturally, we will rise. And you know, the people vote for the UIM because we do 3 things. I say it as it is, as you know. I don't put things through a washing machine. I call it as it is. In other words, the truth. Number 2, no matter if you are Christian, if you are Muslim, if you are Jewish in the Torah, or you are at this current moment any other faith, Hindu even, as long as we believe that we are in faith, we are not a faith-based party, we are party in faith, and that brings us together. And lastly, our alternatives is to fight crime, attack corruption, keep up the constitution, bring capital back to the country. Those are the most important things, Shahid, that we need in this country. That's what the UIM brings.
Now, coming back to multi-party charter, where to now that UIM is part of this multi-party charter?
Well, there are 3 things we now need to do. Elections are within the next 10 to 11 months. It must be between July, August next year, so we have a target date. What we as the multi-charter have agreed is that we are still going to be independent in our political parties to campaign. We have to earn our seats in Parliament. So the election is starting, but also on a few occasions, the group of parties that are currently 7 within the multi-charter will campaign and appear at certain places together to build up momentum.
Finally, Neil, before we let you go, we want to know with regards to the possibilities. What's the possibility of Africa seeing Mr. Neil de Beer as the next South African president?
You know, again, never say never. Miracles have happened, waters have parted, and people have been born. So all I'm saying is, I will fight my fight to be a leader and a representative of the people's voice in this country. And can I end off by telling you, in this country, we don't need a black president or a white president or a colored president anymore. We need a president that has got conviction, that has care, and that has a bloody backbone to get up and take on what is wrong. That's my answer.
Quite interesting. Thank you very much for your time on Radio Islam, Neil, and hope to speak to you in future again.
Shukran, and I do a lot of dua for all of us that we have a better country next year.
Amen. Thank you very much, Mr. Neil de Beer.